are you being fake to me or something? Like, I don't understand why you're acting this way. Why do you keep smiling so much? And it sincerely pisses people off sometimes. Hello there and welcome to my channel. If you haven't been here before, my name is Jenna and I am an international who has been living here in Germany since 2014. You can find more information about moving to Germany and getting started over on lifeingermany.com. Otherwise, you can read more about my experiences on lifeindusseldorf.com. So let's jump right into it. Today I want to talk about what I wish I knew before moving to Germany. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that I wish I didn't move to Germany or that I wish I had have done things differently. I mean, sometimes maybe I wish I had have, but there are a few things that I think, had I have known this before I arrived here, things would have been either a lot easier, perhaps mentally or physically. And I'm hoping that these 15 things that I'm going to mention to you today will hopefully help you guys when you first move over here to Germany. Or if you're from Germany, it also might be kind of interesting to know what people might perhaps not actually expect when they first get here. And maybe you'll even realize, you know, I never thought about that, and then actually let other people know when they first get here, listen, Jenna mentioned this in her video and you should really think about this and this and this. So let's get started. First and foremost, I want to mention that where you live is going to make a huge difference on your experience here in Germany. I'm talking about if you live in Berlin, in the middle of the city, perhaps Düsseldorf like I do, or a smaller town in the middle of nowhere in Germany. They are very different, and it is really hard to compare and contrast different cities and different towns in Germany, because I even find that the people can be very different. Sometimes from across the Rhine, I can find that people are quite different. So it entirely depends on your experience, and I think that it's worth to note that if you don't know where you want to live yet, it's definitely worth exploring, coming here in advance and seeing what life in that city or town is like, because honestly, like, you can go to one city and the people are very posh and very hochnase, or very stuck up, sadly, and then you can go to another city where they're super laid back and super chill and super friendly. In some small towns, I find that everybody passes by and says, "Oh, hi, how are you?" But in other small towns, it's so close-knit that if they see you and they don't know who you are, then they look at you funny rather than saying, "Hi, how are you?" So it all depends, and I think that it's really worth it to give each town or each city a chance to see if it's something for you before you decide, okay, this is exactly where I'm gonna live. Number two would be that sometimes it can be really hard to find a job. And it really, as mentioned, depends on what city you live in. So some cities are more international than others. I find, for example, Düsseldorf is becoming way more international than it used to. So the opportunities are definitely growing. But when I first got here, it was like next to impossible to find a job, and everybody was moving over to Berlin to find those English jobs. So it all depends on where you live, but it can oftentimes be quite difficult to find an English job. So I would just say make sure that you're aware of that ahead of time and that you're doing ample research before you get here so that you know exactly where your opportunities may lie. And when I'm talking about it being difficult to find something, it is also quite difficult to find a flat or an apartment sometimes, depending on what city you live in. But if you're planning on moving to a city rather than a town, it is usually a lot harder to find an apartment. There are numerous different websites you can look on. You can get a furnished flat, an unfurnished flat. You can get a flat that's with other people. You can get a flat on your own. You can get big flats. You can get small flats. There are so many different flats that you could get, but the opportunities are very limited because so many people here are renting and there's just not enough space apparently for everybody to find the apartment of their dreams. Number four would be that the German language is actually harder than you might think. When I first came here, I thought, okay, you know, English is part of the Germanic language, which means a lot of times you can actually pick up some of the words because you speak English. So some people here also speak this kind of like Denglish form where they speak a little bit of English and a little bit of German, which can oftentimes make it a lot easier for English speakers. However, the actual German language, when we're talking about grammar and properly formulating a sentence, this can be really tricky. So if you want to find a job speaking German and you think, okay, you know, I'm just going to learn quickly when I first get there and then hop right into a job, it's usually not as easy as that. I've also created a video on some of the best ways that you can learn German really, really quickly, and some of those are entirely free, so I will link that up for you above here. Otherwise, yeah, make sure that you brush up on your German before you get here, and just be aware that it takes time. It's not easy, and it might take you even a couple years to properly learn the language, enough so that you're going to be able to work in that language. Number 5 is that myth about German bureaucracy and paperwork. And the truth is, it is definitely not a myth. Depending on where you're coming from, it actually might be a lot easier for you to relocate here and fill out all the paperwork and deal with German bureaucracy. But if you're coming from somewhere like North America, where a lot of this stuff is done entirely online and at the click of a button. So for example, with some of the more traditional German banks, when I first came here and opened up my very first account with Deutsche Bank, I had to sit down, and then I wanted to open another account as a savings account, and I had to sit down again, and I had to keep on sitting down and making appointments to open new accounts and to cancel new accounts. And perhaps I shouldn't have kept opening new ones and canceling other ones, but in Canada this can be done at a click of a button. So it's just very, very different in some aspects of life and getting settled here and filling out paperwork, that it can often take a lot more time. Number 6, there is such thing as quiet hours here in Germany, and you've probably heard this before. I had also heard of it before, but the one thing I didn't really realize was that it's really a thing. You know, like for most people in most apartments, you actually do have to be quiet between certain hours. There's a middle of the day rule where you have to be quiet. It just depends, but for us it's between the hours of noon and 3 p.m, sometimes noon and 2 p.m. You have to be silent. That means like no running your dryer, no running your washer, no loud talking, no parties. Of course, there's so many small things that are considered to be noisy that I didn't even think about. I didn't think about running my dryer and that not being possible in the middle of the day. And then of course you also have to be quiet after the hours of sometimes 7 or 8 p.m. until the morning, maybe 6, 7 or 8 in the morning. Just depends on where you live, but this is actually quite serious, and sometimes your landlords or the other tenants living around you are super chill and super laid back, but a lot of the time this is actually very much a thing. It is very existent, and you really have to be careful about making noise, because it's probably like the number one thing I find on expat forums or on Facebook groups is people saying, you know, I didn't even think I was being loud, or they're complaining about my kids. How am I supposed to make sure that my kids are quiet? You know, there's just so many aspects I guess I didn't realize, and it was kind of like a brutal punch in the face when I first got here, because you really have to be quiet. Number 7 would be that owning a car here in Germany, especially in the cities, can actually be quite a big burden. And when I first got here, I got rid of my car in Canada and moved over here to Germany. So I wasn't planning on buying a car right away, but it was definitely an intention of mine to purchase a car at some point when I got here, once I felt I was settled and ready to officially live my new life here in Germany. Well, it's now almost 7 years have gone by and I don't have a car, and that is because living in a city like Düsseldorf, having a car can be such a burden, because it's really hard to drive in the city, it's really hard to find a parking spot in the city, and if you live in an apartment in the city, it's also really expensive to get your own parking spot in the city. Like, it can be up to 150 euros a month, perhaps even higher in other cities, which for me was just not in the budget. So cycling in Germany is something that's really popular, and I've definitely grown to love. And now I don't even want a car necessarily. Sometimes I miss it, but for the most part, I'm really happy at how amazing the public transportation system is here and how much fun it is to actually be able to cycle pretty much everywhere I need to get to. Number 8, which wasn't necessarily super important for me, but I think it definitely took a little bit of adjusting to, and that is that everything is closed on Sundays. Not everything. You can find stuff open at the airport or the train station. You can find an emergency pharmacy open. You could go to the Netherlands, where I'm living in Germany. It's super close, and buy some groceries there. But for the most part, everything is closed on Sundays, unless you just want to hop over to the kiosk for a cold beer or some sweets or something. But that's something that I always forgot about, I guess, when I first came here, because in Canada, actually on Sundays, my family would plan to do the cleaning and to do the grocery shopping and to get the whole week's worth of stuff done on the Sunday, so that Monday you're ready to go, fresh start, the fridge is full. But here I find that that's more Saturdays that people tend to get this done, or at some point within the week. So even 7 years later, I still sometimes forget that things are closed on Sundays. But I have to be honest, this is one thing that I absolutely love about Germany, because I love knowing that Sunday, no excuses, we don't have work and we can just relax and enjoy time with the family. So I really, really love this, and I think that most of you will too. Number 9, when I'm talking about politeness here in Germany, from our side, like so from being an international or an immigrant to the actual German population, I have time and time again made the mistake of saying du instead of sie. And if you don't know, you probably already know, but this is a way to address someone either formally or informally. And I constantly still make the mistake of saying du to elderly citizens or to even my doctor. Like the other day I was getting my COVID test and I said du like 100 times, and I just felt so guilty, but I just have to cross my fingers and hope and pray that people just let it slide, because they know that I'm foreign and that I don't mean it intentionally. One can only hope, right? And when we're on the topic of politeness, my point number 10 would be that my friendliness sometimes isn't always accepted. And this really shocked me, because at the beginning, people didn't actually like that I was over friendly. And in Canada, I find a lot of us are just like in your face and over friendly and always happy and always smiling. And that's because somehow we learn to mask our emotions and to just be friendly and outgoing and happy when we're in a public situation. In Germany, I find a lot of the time that people will straight up say like, are you being fake to me? Or so, like, I don't understand why you're acting this way. Why do you keep smiling so much? And it sincerely pisses people off sometimes that I'm just so happy and I'm always smiling. And I've tried to change this about myself, but then sometimes I go to bed at night and I think, why do I want to change this? I am sincerely smiling because I'm a happy person. And yes, I have my down days where I just put on a fake smile so that nobody has to know or care that something is going on in my life that day. But I also don't necessarily want everybody to know. So this fake smile sometimes is worth the pain and the time of just saving it for people who actually care about me and not this random person that passes me by on the street, if you know what I mean. And number 11 would definitely be in regards to common courtesy. So this has to also do with friendliness, but I find that common courtesy, and I don't mean to be mean, but I just feel like coming from North America, common courtesy isn't really a thing here in Germany. Honestly, like I feel like people don't hold the door as much for you when you're coming out of a shop, perhaps. Or if I do hold the door, I expect someone to just say thanks, but for some reason nobody says thank you. Like 9 times out of 10, people will not say thank you, and it really upsets me. But then you just have to realize like that's just ingrained in the culture, and I guess it's normal here. But people also don't hold the door for me or don't let me go ahead of them in line, or the common courtesy that we find in Canada, for example, I just don't find all that often here in Germany. Number 12 would be that it definitely takes a while to make friends. And if you're looking at making German friends, well then it takes an even longer time, because I find that making friends in Germany with Germans can be very, very hard. I always compare it to like peeling off the layers of like, I don't know, like an artichoke, you know, like to get to the heart and to get to their honest self and their amazing personality, it takes a lot of work. But I find the stereotype where people say if you do make a German friend, then they're friends for life, I find it's definitely true. Number 12, a funny one would definitely be that nobody told me at the beginning that you didn't have to tip as much. I was actually really shocked that my husband wasn't tipping that much, but I never said anything because I thought like, he just must be a really cheap person, and I really didn't like that about him. But then once I started making more German friends and seeing how much they actually tipped on the bill, I started to realize that it is totally normal here to pay about 10% of the bill in tips, rather than in Canada we're starting to pay like upwards to 20%, which I think is just absolutely crazy. But of course it's different here in Germany. The servers get a much better wage than back in Canada, whereas in Canada we get a server's wage, which can be typically quite low. So it all makes sense at the end of the day. Number 14 would be that the tax system in Germany is really, really difficult to understand. It has taken me years to understand it, and sometimes when I'm asking questions to another German, they still don't understand the system. Like when we're talking about tax brackets and what class you're in, whether that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6, people just like get so confused and take a step back and say like, I don't know, I don't even know what class I'm in, I just pay my taxes and that's that. So to figure it all out was really, really difficult, and I find that taxes in Germany can be quite high depending on if you're married or how much money you're making, and sometimes you can even end up paying upwards to about 45% in tax, which for me was really, really high. I'm not complaining though, it was just a shock when I first got here. However, I do understand, our healthcare system here is amazing, our education system here is amazing, and I firsthand have been able to experience a lot of different public systems here in Germany that I am very, very thankful for it, and I'm not complaining that I pay high taxes. It's just something that definitely shocked me when I first got here and would have been nice to know before I arrived so that I could kind of mentally prepare myself for having to pay this much in tax. And lastly, number 15, let's just talk about the payment system here in Germany. Paying for a coffee that's €1 with credit card is just not a thing here in Germany, and if you do it, people might look at you a little bit silly. In North America, we love collecting points on our credit card, so the better the point system, the better the credit card, and we often use our credit card for every single tiny purchase, well, because every single euro equals either 1 or 2 points that can get you something later on. And in North America, we actually can get back quite a lot of money from this point system. So that was something that I really missed when I first got here, and I'm still not used to carrying around so much cash with me. I somehow find that more dangerous than carrying a credit card around, but I mean, we all have our own opinions on that topic. I just found it strange that you can't really like pay for a €1 coffee with a credit card. And you know what? Now I'm slowly getting back into it because I find that the German system is changing day by day. More times now than not, it's okay to pay something smaller with your credit card if they accept credit card, because not everywhere accepts credit card and some places still don't even accept debit card. So cash is definitely king here in Germany, and that is something I've definitely had to get used to. So I hope that this was all interesting for you if you haven't been to Germany or if you're planning on moving to Germany. If you've been here, if you're German yourself, perhaps you agree with me, I'm not sure, but I hope that you enjoyed this video nonetheless. Vielen, vielen lieben Dank und wie immer, bis später.